Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Yes, it's late, but we've got a good video for you. We've got an interesting video for you because the Q3 earning report for Activision Blizzard has just dropped. Well, just after I'd made my tea. And I've just been sifting through it. Of course, you know, I'm no financial guru. I like facts and figures and stuff, but I'm no financial guru. But there are some very interesting things in here, which I'm going to go through. And of course, we'll talk about Classic. We'll talk about Call of Duty, because this has been very strategically positioned in this quarterly report. And then we'll have a look at some other stuff. And then we'll have a look at the stock market, see how they've responded to it. So you'll never guess, but Blizzard exceeded their own expectations. I never saw this coming. I mean, it didn't happen in Q1, and it didn't happen in Q2. This is crazy. Of course, you lowball. When you give your own predictions, you lowball. You can't go ridiculous, but you have to lowball because, you know, if it's not that good, if it falls slightly short of what you truly think, then you're safe, you know, you're safe or you're within that remit. And if you do better, then you're like, oh, but you can't be too far away, because if you're too far away, looks suspicious. So, of course, you got to lowball a bit. But with that still said, I do think they legitimately exceeded what they thought they were going to do anyway. So they predicted they're going to take a meager 1.105 billion this quarter. They actually took 1.282 billion. So I do actually legitimately think that was higher than they truly predicted. But 2018, 1.512 billion. So they are still substantially down, only by, you know, $250 million. What's that to Bobby? Still down from that from this time last year, as this year continues to be a poor year for Activision Blizzard in relation to last year. Of course, in normal land, you know, in the sane world, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But we're living in the games industry, and the games industry, unless you have everything, you are failing. So with that said, let's just jump to Activision and Call of Duty. Because they big up respect. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 reach and net bookings from in-game items grew sharply versus World War II in the third quarter of 2018. Yeah, World War II didn't have the pay-to-win loot boxes that you issued in that quarter on top of all the other microtransactions that were there. So I wonder why that slightly outperformed. And if you'll notice here, they decide to chuck in quite a bit of information about the reimagined, is that what we're going with? Modern Warfare from October. This isn't a Q3. This isn't a Q3. This is pandering. This is for Q4. So they're totally pandering here. Wow, look, don't worry about other stuff. Look, the October the 1st, when it was Call of Duty Mobile was released, 100 million downloads in its first month. Sad but true. And it's actually reaching the top of the mobile app charts. It's actually in the top 10 in 100 countries. I'll tell you that now. I've done some looking around. I've done some research, peeps, and it's actually in the top 10 of 100 different countries. With a 4.9 star rating. Fuck out of here. If you missed it, I did actually play Call of Duty Mobile in a recent video. Go check it out on the video side. And then they also say, on October the 25th, Q4. Call of Duty Modern Warfare launched and became the top-selling new premium game release of the year in its first week. I mean, it's sad. It does sadden me. I've got this laugh on my face going off. I've had a decent day. But it just does sadden me, the sheep The sheep that just flock to Modern Warfare and FIFA and... Oh, dear. Oh, it's the new one, though, isn't it? It's the new one. It's the new one, isn't it? Anyway, let's get to the Blizz. Let's get to the big stuff. The stuff that's probably in the thumbnail. Clickbaiting. And what? And in the title of the video. So, Blizzard had 33 million MAUs in this quarter. I'll get back to this. World of Warcraft Classic drove the biggest quarterly increase to subscription plans in franchise history in both the West and the East. Right, just let that sink in for a moment. World of Warcraft Classic, the 15-year-old version of the World of Warcraft, the one that J. Allen Brack, the piece of filth that he is, said you think you do, but you don't, who is now president and running the show at Blizzard Entertainment when he's not making false apologies while pushing his own political agendas. Just read it again. Biggest quarterly increase to subscription plans, because you have to have a subscription to play Classic WoW, in franchise history. Running the show. Another round of applause. This is... It's a clown show. It is a legitimate clown show. You have a clown president of your company. So, now, they also go on to say in this... I'm going to have to shift this across a bit. Which is, I'm going to call it right now, just a mitigated bullshit. But this is to try and save face. Reach in October remained... This is October, so this is again Q4. Reach in October remained well above pre-Classic levels with deep engagement across both Classic and Modern World of Warcraft. Bollocks. No, bollocks. Fuck off. Modern World of Warcraft. You've just bloody announced that Classic WoW has brought the biggest quarterly increase to subscriptions in franchise history. And then you want to say... It's kind of to do with Modern WoW as well. Fuck out of here. You fucking clowns. Clowns. It's Classic. Classic has saved your failing, miserable, boring, grindy, devoid of any inspiration or whatever World of Warcraft. That's what it's done. Whether it's god-awful story and horrendous Sylvanas. Got that off my chest. Sure, that's not going to piss off a few people at all. Sure, everyone's going to be absolutely fine with that little outburst. I have unsubscribed from your channel, which is really sad because I unsubscribed the last time you said something I didn't agree with as well. Okay, so I want to go back to the MAUs. Blizzard has 33 million MAUs. Last quarter, they had 32 million MAUs. So it's just like, brilliant. We've gone up a million monthly active MAU, monthly active user. Not trying to patronise, just in case you don't know what it stands for. So it's gone up a million monthly active users in Q3. However, with the World of Warcraft Classic being the biggest increase to subscription plans in franchise history, I imagine it's gone well over a million. Like I said, I think the predictions are around about 3 odd million people, if not more, subscribed to Classic World of Warcraft. So if that is to be taken as a decent guesstimate, okay, that would mean that 2 million have dropped off elsewhere. Dropped off from other Blizzard games, Hearthstone, Overwatch, Diablo 3. Is anyone playing StarCraft? It looks like Blizzard have given up on StarCraft. Heroes of the Storm. Oh, probably from Heroes of the Storm as well. So that as well was quite interesting because it shows that WoW, well, not WoW propping up things, but it shows that World of Warcraft Classic has given Blizzard some favourable figures this month that they can now use to bullshit. Because both World of Warcraft Classic and Modern WoW run off the same subscription, Blizzard can say what they want about Modern WoW now. We'd never know. We'd never know. All we know is that game was plummeting down and down and down and down and down. And then Classic comes along. It starts to raise. It drops out, even in the charts, in the revenue charts, drops out of the revenue charts. And then just coming up to Classic in anticipation a month before, goes back up again as people start subscribing, getting ready for Classic. And then people really hit the subscribe button in August when it releases. And then Blizzard want to turn around and go, there's deep engagement in Modern WoW. Fuck off! Right off in every orifice as well. We can say what we want now. We could just totally bollocks it all up. Right, so how's the marketplace taking this? Bearing in mind, of course, through all the figures and MAUs, and this was great and that was great. At the end of the day, this is what the shareholders are interested in. 2018 versus 2019. If it ain't doing good, they're not too happy. And stock market is not too, well, I say not too happy. It's not impressed. It's not impressed with what's been said. And also because of Bobby gave a forecast for Q4 as well, which seemed pretty down on what they thought it would be. So I don't think investors have been, massively turned on by everything. So we've seen a bit of a drop during trading. And then after hours, down nearly another 2% so far. So it's just interesting to see how that continues. Like I said, well, first of all, there ain't nothing to worry about here for an investor. But I think this in itself, it's just going to meander around this for a long time. I think it's just going to meander around this sort of area for a while now. Unless, Classic loses a lot of interest and people just drop off out of nowhere. And I don't see that particularly coming. Streamers like Asmongold who are doing, a lot of Classic WoW stuff, a lot of raiding stuff. And there's, of course, the next phase of WoW Classic to come. I saw him earlier today, a few hours ago, 46,000 people. And I think he was playing on an alt on Classic. And this is, a couple of months now. August, September, October, November. Yeah, 2.5 months or so since its release. So there is clearly a very high interest in Classic stuff soon. So with Classic pushing up the stock price, which it did, there's no denying that whatsoever. You could see when the stock price rose, and it was due to the literal release of Classic. There you go. Look at that. August. Whoosh. And that is because of the significant increase in subscribers and ergo revenue for Blizzard due to Classic World of Warcraft. And it's pretty much, apart from a peak and a trough here or there, it's pretty much held its way up until then. So before I go, just quickly want to say one more thing. The president of Blizzard Entertainment said, you don't want this. The most successful thing they've had in franchise history. Your legacy continues to be one of a mitigated failure, Brack. Sack Brack. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links down in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.